What helped you get over a crush you had for years?
Well, for me, I kept telling myself that I did not fall in love with her, but with the idea of her. I had always imagined a future with her. I wouldn't bore you with the details, but yeah, in those imaginations she seemed to be so excited about my presence. I mean, she was in real life too. She's a pretty good friend of mine, but in those dreams, a little more, I guess. But anyway, the fabricated and real girl were almost pole opposites in nature. So I kept telling myself for 3 years that the girl I actually had a crush on never existed. I liked the girl in my imagination, and there, she liked me back too. It wasn't the case with the real one. So that's what helped me move on from her. She's still my friend. Maybe we're not as close as we were before, maybe it's for the best. I still sometimes get slight feelings for her, but I'm sure it will wear out with time.
I feel like I'm going through this right now. I'm telling myself the same. I did not fall in love with her, but with the idea of her line. I too hope it will wear out with time.
The fact that I just stopped initiating the conversation and that was the last time we talked.
Pretty sure this is a "he's just not that into you" sign, so good call.
Same, I let it happen for months. I just kept telling myself that she was just busy, very busy.
That's how most of non-romantic relationship ends as well. I stopped to initiate conversations, and my contact list shortened by times. Except closest relatives, from 200 ppli ended up with 2. Another fun fact: delete your birthday from all social media and you will receive grats only from parents and people who binded your birthday to contact in phone.
One day I saw her across the quad. I waved and she stopped walking and just stood there. I walked towards her and realized that she wasn't walking towards me. Then I realized she'd never walked towards me, never sought me out, never put effort into our friendship, let alone anything else our relationship might develop into. It took a bit to process, but that was the moment that helped me break free.
Our interests were too similar. I liked girls, so did she.
You and I are not so different.
Oh, here's my time to shine. So I got into this girl in middle school. I've had a mad crush on her for 5 long effing years. The reason why I didn't confess was that I was the rejected kid, 0 friends and a weirdo, and she on the other hand was popular, smart and intelligent. So I always admired her from the sidelines, under the radar, and she was completely unknown of my existence. In high school I made a few friends, who told me to stop being a wimp and confess. So I walked up to her one day in recess and confessed. She made a disgusted face and said that no way in hell she'd be with me and she was in a relationship anyways. I walked away disappointed in myself and feeling real down. Then a few minutes later her boyfriend came up to me. He said that he was listening from a distance and said he had chewed her out for her reaction. I know that I shouldn't have taken her seriously, but I actually felt low for a month. This guy approached me every day, asked how I was doing. Later on we made best friends. Later on the girl dumped him and he told me all that was wrong about her and how she was a complete jerk and I had dodged a bullet. This guy helped me a lot in recovering from that blow and he's the reason why I'm actually making more friends. Note: this happened a year ago. TLDR, girl humiliated me for confessing, but her boyfriend made best friends with me and helped me recover.
That's actually really cool of the dude to come up to you and comfort you. I hope you're still doing well, bro, smiley face.
I'm going to guess English isn't your first language. If it isn't, you did pretty darn good, though. I'm assuming phrase you're looking for is chewed her out, not eaten her out. Very different connotations.
Yeah man, not my first language. Sorry for the confusion, fixed it.
Eat out doesn't mean what you think it means though.
Getting to know her lol.
Yes. I had a crush on some guy for about 10 years. I finally decided to text him after he and his long-term GF broke up. I waited over a year. He did not seem uninterested, but it was so hard to get the conversation going. It felt like I was talking to a 13-year-old boy who was only interested in motorcycles and breaking every rule on earth to look cool. One evening he asked me if I wanted to meet up in town. We were both out with friends, pre-COVID. He then proceeded to ask me if I was going to suck his C***ck until it was empty. I never responded.
Once you get to know someone, it's either love or you realize how misguided you were.
Came here to say this. Never meet your heroes, true. Never meet your crush. Infinitely more relevant and applicable. She was a train wreck that left me with a better bad date story than any I'd ever read before, and I'd read a lot of them.
A lot of time. A lot of crying and a lot of time spent on my own.
Couldn't have put it better myself.
This is the right answer. Distance and time are key, since the mind is far beyond rational when you really have a crush on someone. You could sit at someone's wedding still hoping they'll be single soon and that your future is bright together. Don't do that to yourself. Get that person out of your life.
He rejected me and I sat up all night crying and eventually realized that the last 4 years I'd had a crush on him. I had pretty much just looked at all the positive interactions and filled in the rest of the time by projecting a personality onto him.
You have absolutely no idea how much you just helped me with this statement. Thank you so much.
This, kind of annoying how brains tend to filter out all the good poo and conveniently ignore the bad and lonely times.
Found a woman who was interested in me. It's so much better when the feelings are mutual.
Ha ha ha, yeah, that helped me too. But with one crush, after I found the girl to spend my life with, she admitted that she had a crush on me too at the same time and that I was missing all the signs when we would hang out. Talk about a MINDEF.
That's amazing. Wish I could find someone like that as well.
I found out my biggest high school crush was obsessed with me at the same time. Like years later she told me she would cry at night because she didn't think she was good enough for me. It's so weird to think how we went 3 years as best friends, both absolutely in love with each other, but too effing scared and awkward to find out how the other felt. I swear I had a DK and balls back then. In fact, I swear, I have the same exact set right now. What the F was it doing back then? Homework? I did all the homework. They just sat there doing nothing. Zito and Bonds, what a shame, so much potential wasted while sitting there listening to Gregory crack jokes all L day. Effing bullpoo.
Bigger crush.
There is always a bigger crush.
Why does the larger crush not simply eat the other smaller crushes?
I'd say she has to be about 80 lb bigger to get over the current crush.
She had a shrine to a certain Austrian art school reject, pretty big deal breaker.
The realization that I would probably feel lonely in a relationship with him.
Thank you for putting this into words. I was just broken up with yesterday. I had felt it coming for months now, but I couldn't exactly put into words why. But you hit the nail on the head with this comment. I felt lonely being with her. She never really showed much interest in me romantically. We were best friends, but I see now that she never really saw much more than that in me. I felt like I put so much more effort into the relationship than she ever did, which is a really disheartening thing to feel. It being over hurts like a effing bitch, but it's for the best. The amount of anxiety the imbalance brought me was in no way worth the happy moments. We're better as friends. I just hope I'll be able to move on before she finds someone else, because that is gonna eat me up from the inside. Sorry for the small rant, the emotions are still very high, and I really need to get it out somehow.
Not really crush related, but that was how I felt with my ex. I asked a married friend of mine why he got married, and his response was that his partner made him feel content and secure. It was a statement that helped me realize how unhappy I was in my current relationship. Edit. For the record, my ex is a perfectly nice guy. I just wasn't content and felt lonely even in his company.
You have just given me the words to describe the feelings I had with my ex the entire time we were together. Thank you.
He tried to stab his mum. That was kind of a deal breaker.
Yeah, that would do it.
Keep distance and get some hobbies.
Definitely distance. I used to see him every day at work and hang out after work. Then I got a new job, we didn't catch up after work so much. And the crush fell away. Also, everyone at work used to joke about us being a couple and how he was in love with me. I wonder if I leaned into that thinking? And built the crush? Like would I have thought about him in that way, if no one had put the idea in my head he was obviously in love with me? Her engagement photo.
Oh, right in the gut. Hope you're okay.
So you're not married yet?
Don't worry, there is still a chance. A girl I was into at work but thought was out of my league got engaged. 4 months later she dumped him. A month after that we started dating. Now we're engaged and just bought our first house and a puppy. P.S. To be real though, don't obsess over her. If it happens, cool. If not, there are other fish in the sea, no matter what your brain tells you, smiley face.
This was 3 years ago. They're married now, last time I checked. Happily.
I asked her out. She said no. Ended up becoming friends. Still don't recall how or when exactly I got over her. I guess hanging out with her over the years made me realize that being friends is better than being together. She's a wonderful friend, though she still made fun of me for asking her out that time.
What? Taking rejection like a grown-up and moving on with your life while seeing them. Username checks out. You're doing it wrong.
I have brought dishonor to this family.
You have to accept it. Don't obsess over them, but don't push the thought of them away so much that you can't process it. Allow yourself to come to terms with it, accept it for whatever it is, and realize what you need to do to move forward. Everyone is different and every situation is different, but I believe the first step is acknowledgement and acceptance.
Sometimes you also have to realize that you are not in love with the person, but merely the idea of that person.
Time.
Going out with them and the reality versus the dream.
I should have known it wasn't going to turn out well when we started making out while her boyfriend was in the bathroom. An obvious red flag now, but just the coolest, most slow-motion movie scene at the time. Crushes can make you stupid.
He hit on my daughter, saying that he's enjoyed watching her bloom since he met her at 14. It made me vomit.
What the actual F? That is so wrong. What a effing creep.
I was a step-parent of fraternal twins that were female. I don't get how anyone can ever raise a child and then look at them in that way. Like, I understand that she may be an adult now, maybe, but it doesn't change the fact that he was a father figure, a parental unit, and I feel like this person should never be left alone with children.
Nothing. Not completely. I still think about her sometimes, 25 years later.
Yeah, honestly. It's just going on about your life. Still thinking about her. Then eventually you think about her less and less until one day you can't even remember the last time you thought about her.
Dating her for a while.
Ouch.
Imagining hypothetical situations for so long that I discovered the situation where we actually go out but then I dump the crush.
Seeing them make awful life choices that stress their partner out and realizing if I had made a move years ago I would be the one picking up the pieces.
A new crush.
Him making moves on my two best friends.
This. I had made out with the guy the first was crushing on. The next time we hung out, my best friend joined and they started screwing around because she had a weird complex at the time. He thought he was going to get a threesome. I bailed.
Actually dating him after having a crush for 10 years. It lasted 6 months. Great guy, terrible boyfriend. I don't have a problem with WD. But he smoked so much he forgot everything and it was basically his identity. Meeting other people.
As opposed to fruiting them?
I loved her but I lived for her jugs. But I forgot all about him when I discovered DG.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.